All right, it is time to do the San Francisco 49ers. This mock draft done by Trey Spiller. We've got two more mocks to do, and then we are done with our $100 giveaway. Again, if you like this mock, feel free to, do the thing where you give it a thumbs up and all that good stuff. Leave a comment, and if this is the best performing video and the most liked video, Trey Spiller is going to win himself $100, so that'd be kind of cool. Make sure you join the mock draft group. We just cracked 20,000, so you're going to want to get in there, have some fun, maybe even win a little bit of money. Never know. That's how these things go. But, all right, quick recap of the San Francisco 49ers, at least insofar as I see it. The quarterback situation, I mean, some people want to trip over themselves getting into a fight about Brock Purdy. I don't see the point. The performance speaks for itself. You can call him a game manager if you want, but he seems to be managing pretty well in San Francisco, so I don't see that as an issue. Possibly some depth if you're looking for something later round as a backup with Sam Darnold and Brandon Allen as free agents. Running back, McCaffrey, Mitchell, and Mason, I believe, are in their final years. So, not a massive immediate need, but we're certainly going to need to do something there relatively soon. Kyle Juszczyk is signed for a little bit of a while, but he's 33 years old. So the backfield is something to at least keep in the back of our minds. Wouldn't be the worst thing to take a swing this year. Wide receiver, kind of a similar situation. Deebo Samuel, I believe, is in the final year of his deal. So Deebo, Christian McCaffrey, and Brandon Ayuk, who's in the final year of his deal, all going to be looking for money. And there's plenty more where that came from as far as guys looking to get paid. So I don't know how this is all going to get sorted out, but one way to help sort it out would be to start taking some swings at some, potential replacements. Along the offensive line, Trent Williams is the man. There's no doubt about it, but the guy's also 36 years old. He is signed through 2026, I believe. But still, we got to start looking into the future. Worse than that, Aaron Banks is in his final year and is just not very good. Jake Brendel, I don't know how excited we are about Jake Brendel, and also he's 32 years old. Spencer Burford is just not a very good football player. And then Colt McKivitz right here is mediocre at best and is also in the final year of his deal. So we desperately need all of this figured out, not to mention some of our depth seems to be going bye-bye. Matt Pryor, the tackle, along with John Feliciano and Ben Barch are free agents. So we don't have anything along the offensive line, and I know the 49ers have managed thus far with a struggling offensive line, but we got to get that taken care of. Defensive line is somewhat similar. Nick Bosa is obviously the man, maybe the best pass rusher in football. But Chase Young and Cleveland Ferrell are both free agents. That leaves Drake Jackson and Robert Beal to hold things down. I don't think that's the greatest situation to put next to Bosa. It wouldn't be a terrible idea to find somebody else. And then along the defensive line, Javon Kinlaw, Sebastian Joseph Day, and Kevin Givens are all free agents. Javon Hargrave is signed for another couple years, but is 31 years old, and Eric Armstead, 31 years old in the final year of his deal. So, I mean, by next year, it might be Nick Bosa and nobody. So we're going to have to look at this defensive line and get it going. At the cornerback position, similarly, I mean, Charvarius Ward did a really fine job for us last year, but 28 years old, final year of his deal. So what's he going to want? A new contract. And I don't know if we can pay, Deebo and McCaffrey and Brandon Ayuk and, all the way down the line. And also pay what will be next year 29-year-old Charvarius Ward. I mean, maybe we do, maybe we don't, I don't know. Same with Lenoir here. Probably want to pay him, assuming we like him. I don't know if we really buy this or not, if this was kind of a fluke year. But this is his final year as well, along with Ambry Thomas. All three of those guys are in the final years of their deal. So cornerback is something to consider. At linebacker, Fred Warner is obviously a really solid football player. He's 28. He's locked up for a while. It's not a super big need right this second. Dre Greenlaw, however, is in the final year of his deal. I don't know what the plans are for him, if we're going to be keeping him around. I don't see why not, other than we may need to find cheaper options. Flanagan Fowles is out the door, leaving D. Winters, who doesn't seem to be the greatest option, although we don't have a lot to go off. But I think some linebackers are probably going to be in order here, because behind these three starters, we have Jalen Graham, and that's basically it. And then finally at safety, Hufanga, another guy that's done well for us. 24 years old, but you guessed it, in the final year of his deal, so he's going to be looking to get big time paid. And then Jair Brown, he was a rookie, so he'll be around for a little bit of a while. But behind that, what do we have? We got George Odom, final year of his deal in 31, he's not getting paid. And then Logan Ryan, who's 33 years old and a free agent this year. So we need bodies behind these guys because right now we just don't have it. So anyways, with that all being said, let's get into the mock draft. With the 32nd overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. I don't know. Don't worry about the trades and whatnot. He did trades. I don't care. 32nd pick, the 49ers select Kingsley Suamataia, offensive tackle out of BYU. 6'6", 315 pounds. As you can see, he's played right tackle and left tackle. BYU, he played the entire season at right tackle in 2022. The entire season at left tackle in 2023, so he's got some versatility there. The pass blocking clearly seems to be ahead of the run blocking. Either way, we're going to need him probably at right tackle to get started, and then after that, we'll see how it goes, I guess, once the big man's out the door. At pick 64, the 49ers select Mike Sainristil. I don't know. Just say Sainristil. Sainristil sounds weird, but that's how it's spelled. Cornerback out of Michigan, probably going to be a slot guy, but either way, we're going to need, as I said, some corners here. We got Ward, Lenoir, and Thomas all in the final years of their deal, but pretty common pick. If you've been following along with these videos, you know that we've picked him several times. He's played 2 years at Michigan, has been very, very good in both years, especially insofar as coverage is concerned. So we'll check that one off the box as well. And we'll follow that up with another one. Chris Abrams-Draine at pick 95, cornerback out of Missouri. So we got to make sure, and again, assuming this is a 49ers fan, there's probably some more insight into what the future looks like. And so I'm guessing it doesn't involve being really excited about Ward, Lenoir, and Thomas and just paying them all, because we just went back-to-back cornerbacks. So assuming that's the case, this is obviously a really big need for us. At pick 98, just a couple picks later, we got Mekhi Wingo, defensive tackle out of LSU, 6'1", 295 pounds. More of a run defender than anything else. I always get weirded out. I shouldn't. It's stupid. But when you're under 300 and you're a run defender, I just feel like you're going to go to the NFL. You're not going to become a pass rusher, and you're potentially not going to be a very good run defender at 295. So that makes me a little bit nervous. But it doesn't matter. He's going to be our guy on the interior. And again, we definitely, desperately need help along that defensive line, because outside of Bosa, I mean, he's going to be depth for a year. And then after that, we're looking for him to become a starter. At pick 132, Malik Washington, wide receiver out of Virginia, 5'8", 194 pounds. He's going to come in and be a slot, presumably. That's what he played in college. And as I said, this is something that we're going to need to look forward to in the future. Right now, we got Debo and we got Ayuk. Presumably, we're going to pay both of them. Outside of that, though, we just don't have a lot of bodies, so we're going to need some help. But really big breakout year when he got to Virginia. That was apparently a really good decision by him to go to Virginia. He didn't really start until 2022 at Northwestern. Did fine. But, man, 1,384 yards, 12.5 yards per attempt, 9 touchdowns, and really just aside from week one, just dominated every single week. So that's a pretty intriguing guy right there. At pick 177, Javion Cohen, guard out of Miami, 6'4", 305. Again, more of a pass blocker than a run blocker. I personally have no issue with that. You always like a good run blocker, but as long as you can protect the franchise, you get over it. He's played his entire career at left guard with just a little stint at left tackle. And again, we don't have any issue with that because right guard or left guard at the moment is not a great situation. So he's probably going to come in and start immediately. And then at pick 210, we got halfback Isaiah Davis, 6'1", 220, good size, great player You always got to take with a grain of salt this whole South Dakota thing. The competition, obviously not quite as good as some of the other schools, but there's no denying how dominant this guy is. 1,578 yards, 6.7 yards per attempt, and 18 touchdowns. Really, really incredible feat there for him. And as I said, we got Christian McCaffrey for maybe another year or so. And after that, we're going to have to pay him. And that goes the same with Elijah Mitchell and Jordan Mason. So it might be the final year for all three of them. If we do keep McCaffrey, is still a good chance that it's McCaffrey and nobody. So he will be a really solid, option. Big dude, too. He should be able to put a little bit of tread on his tires, which would be nice. Then we get pick 213, linebacker Darius Masau, 6'1", 230 pounds out of UCLA. As I mentioned, linebacker, not a terrible situation right now. We've got at least two guys with Greenlaw and Warner, but beyond that, we need somebody, so he may be able to slot in immediately and be that third linebacker. And then beyond that, Dre Greenlaw becomes a little bit of a question mark. Presumably he gets paid after this year, but I don't know. He is not under contract beyond this year, and that may be something to keep in the back of our mind. With all the guys that we have to pay, there are likely to be some casualties at somewhere along the line. At pick 215, we get wide receiver Zachary Franklin out of Mississippi. Had a little bit of a down year this year, largely, as you can see, due to injury. He didn't really play very much, but you remove that from your memory, go back and look at what he did at UTSA. Solid football player there, over 1,000 yards his last 2 years. Decent size at 6'1", 185. And again, we're just getting some depth here. We're not really looking for starters at this point. We got some guys, but we need some bodies. Finally, pick 253, Charles Turner, center out of LSU. Very similar style. I don't know if this is all on purpose, but very similar in terms of just dominant pass blocker, not much of a run blocker. And again, we don't mind it so much. Another guy to put on the interior of our offensive line. So we got these spots kind of hammered out. We got our tackle figured out. So offensive line was a big one. I'll bring this back up over here. As you can see, we got the tackle, the guard, and the center. So you could say that we got, the right side. I know we were saying that he's going to play on the left side, but you could just visualize it as the entire right side. 3 out of the 5 guys all figured out. We went runner cornerbacks with Sandra Still and Chris Abrams-Drain. Got a little bit of help along the defensive line with Mekhi Wingo. Got a running back to kind of come in and maybe solidify that number 2 spot, possibly be number 1 if McCaffrey doesn't come back. Maybe our number 3 linebacker right here, and a couple swings at wide receiver with Malik Washington and Zachary Franklin. So, again, if you like the mock draft, if you think Mr. Trey Spiller did a good job with this, show him some love, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. And Trey's going to get himself $100. Otherwise, jump yourself in the old Facebook group here and see if you can't win yourself a little bit of money. Never know. Maybe we'll do it again. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I should do this again and because you want to participate. How about that? Otherwise, have a good day